ta'ala is calling upon the believers, those who believed, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already created a deep connection with those whom he is calling. He's not just saying people or Muslims or believers or anything, but the word used is instead of ayyuhal mu'minun, ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, oh, those who believed. That has got very sweet approach, very inspiring, interesting, appealing way of calling, addressing. Ya ayyuhal nabi, O beloved prophet, like that, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O my lovely believers, kutiba alaykum as-siyam. A practice of fasting has become compulsory or made compulsory upon you, prescribed on you, returned on you. That means it is an obligatory practice, act of worship upon you. كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Do not assume that this is an odd treatment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only towards the people of Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or the believers that are part of the faith of Islam taught by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But the Quran is trying to encourage us in a way that calm down, don't get worried. When we said that you got to fast, you have to fast, don't ever think that it's going to be heavy. It's something already been tried and something really worked with so many nations and communities who went before you. So, كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. This is not a new practice. This is not a practice that just trying with you. This is a very practice that have been tried with so many other people before you, communities before you, and it worked really well. So be confident, be optimistic, have a faith and trust that you can fast. كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Subhanallah. This part of this verse itself is an amazing miracle, because this verse suggests that all other nations or communities that originated before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before the Quran being revealed, they all had this practice of fasting. Yes, understandable, those people have been given books like Jewish people or Christians. They were known to the Prophet and the community, Meccans at that time, or Madinites at that time. It would have been easy to ask them, look, whether you fast or you can even observe. But think about people like Buddhists, Hindus, who were not connected to Arabia, who were not connected to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or Medina or Mecca. Even those communities have their way of observing fasting. Hindus do observe fasting, the particular way that's been taught in that religion. Buddhists do have fasting afternoon all the way till the next day they do fast. So it is a miracle to say that all those generations or religions, communities connected to the past, previous generations, they all had this practice of fasting. So it's not something new. In fact, in Judaism, the practice of fasting is much harder than in Islam. In Islam, yes, from dawn to dusk, from the morning before the Fajr, you only fast until the sun sets, till Maghrib. But that's not the case in Judaism. In Judaism, you got to fast for 25 hours. It's called the Yom Kippur on that day, or the Day of Atonement. You got to fast for extended hours. That's not how in Islam. In Islam, the fasting is very manageable. And also, what we need to understand is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further explained, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The reason, the motive behind making this fasting obligatory upon the believers is also very well explained here in a very simple word. And that word covers everything. That word explains the whole motive, the whole meaning and purpose of fasting. why that was made compulsory. It is to develop a sense of piousness, a sense of piety, a sense of righteousness. It is to develop a mind that will be thankful to the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, appreciating the beautiful blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is taqwa that allows us to realize that when we fast for the whole day, only in the daytime though, when we fast, our tummies, our stomach tells us, our body tells us that staying hungry is hard. And our body loves food, no matter what type of food it is. Sometimes we didn't like many different types of food, maybe because it's less tasty. But even that food becomes very tasty when we are fasting. In other words, we realize the value of food only when we fast. We become thankful to Allah. Thank you, Allah. You made me enjoy. You made me, you blessed me this amazing, tasty, delicious food. So only when our tummies are empty, when we go through this hunger, that is the time we learn the value